Welcome to When the Womb Speaks, a podcast created by the Sanctuary of Sophia. Hi, I'm Angie Twiddle, founder of the Sanctuary of Sophia, and joining me is my co-creator Kerry, a womb practitioner, facilitator and priestess. In these sacred conversations, we open space to listen deeply to the wisdom of women's wombs. Because when the womb speaks, we listen.
Where the earth meets the sky, where the earth meets the sky, oh yeah. That's where I want to fly, yeah, na na na. That's where I want to fly. Cradled by the mother, blanketed by the father, safe and free, oh free to be me, and me is who I get to be. Oh, where the earth meets the sky, where the earth meets the sky, oh yeah. That's where I want to lie, yeah, na na na. That's where I want to lie. Discovering every moment, what else does this body hold? Mysteries untold, mysteries unfold inside this flesh, blood and bone. Where the earth meets the sky, oh, where the earth meets the sky, that's where I want to lie, yeah, na na no, that's where I want to lie. Finding my way back home, deep down in my bones, ancestors unknown, whispering, nudging and guiding back to that sacred sweet place. Where the earth meets the sky, oh, where the earth meets the sky, that's where I want to fly, yeah, na na na, that's where I want to fly, oh, where the earth meets the sky, oh, where the earth meets the sky, that's where I want to fly, yeah, na na na, that's where I want to fly, yeah.
So welcome to episode 3 of When the Womb Speaks. The song that you heard at the start is Horizon, beautiful song, written and performed by Andrea Beattie, who is my guest today. So hi Andrea.
Hi Kerry.
So how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm okay. We were chatting before, but yeah, I'm feeling a bit discombobulated. Is a good
I like that
word. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it feels good to just share that and be able to be that and still be
That's
here
it.
having a conversation with you and talking about the womb and a womb healing journey. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah,
Really,
and thank
really
you for
looking forward to it.
joining me, even though you could have quite easily said to me, oh, I'm not up for it today, can we make it another time? But we had a really nice conversation actually about the importance of being present as we are, and the importance of showing up just as we are, and not always putting things off for that time that's perfect time, because sometimes right now is perfect time, even if you're not quite feeling 100%. And it's okay to have those days, isn't it? So yeah, it's just letting us be as we are. So to start off with, Andrea, I was wondering if you would tell us a little bit about what it is that led you to the Shamanic Way of the Womb apprenticeship.
Oh yeah, that was a while ago now. So I've done 3 years of the Shamanic Way of the Womb apprenticeship. So I would have started in 2022. And really, I started, so after I had my son, when he was about 1, I split up with his dad and moved back home to my mum's. And I knew that I had lots of unprocessed emotions, like lots of, you know, childhood things that had happened that I hadn't really dealt with. I hadn't really felt lots of, yeah, things like that. And I knew that if I didn't do something about those, that I'd pass on all of that, all of those kind of woundings and all of those stories to my son. And I really didn't want to do that. So I think I'd like read somewhere that connecting with your womb could be a thing that was like good for your life. Or I think I'd read someone saying, you know, it had been amazing for her life. So I was like, well, that's free. I had no money at the time, so let me try that. So I just started journaling, like keeping more of a track of what day of my cycle I was on and how that correlated with the phase of the moon as well, because I'd heard that the moon was linked with the womb. So I started, seeing what day of my cycle I was on, what phase of the moon it was, and just writing down how I was feeling that day. Then I read a book called Yoni Shakti by Uma Dinsmore-Tuli, which was a massive book, but I just devoured it. And just found it so like enlightening, and it goes through the life cycle of a woman basically, in a frame that I'd never ever heard before, in a frame that we could celebrate our bleed, our period. I was like, wow, I'd never heard of that before. We could celebrate it. We could celebrate our first bleed, that our menarche was a special time, a special rite of passage, and really that all the things that happen in a woman's life are her special powers, not a curse or not something negative, that all of these things could be seen as positive things. And it just totally revolutionized.
That's a complete shift, isn't it, in perspective on how we kind of, we grew up thinking that our womb, our periods was, like you say, a curse and something that we just have to put up with and get on with. And and
so it was literally just turning everything that I kind of thought about being a woman literally upside down on its head. That was amazing. So I read that book, but I felt a bit like, how can I take this deeper? I think then I heard of a book called Womb Awakening by Seren and Azra Bertrand, potentially, or I think perhaps it was a Mary Magdalene book of theirs that I started with. And then my friend told me about somebody that did womb alchemy online. Her name was Bryony Dabon, and I did a couple of her online workshops. It was also must have been around the time of lockdown, which was great for me because I was a single mum with a baby, so it meant there was loads of things online that I could actually join in with. But then I did a few of her one-off workshops, and then I did a 6-week womb alchemy course with her where we journeyed kind of through the elements and the womb. And I was just really, really hooked, and you could just see the changes that it was having on my life and on my way of being and feeling. And around that time as well, I did also have some psychedelic therapy, which I found really healing as well and really transformative. And that was often linked to my womb, actually, what I was finding in those therapy sessions. Then I was like, well, I want to take this deeper, I want to learn more. I want to be able to take it out to other people as well. So I think I searched for, I can't remember exactly what I searched for, but something, womb and shamanic focused. And I found Angie's course, which was the first year it was running, and had a video call with Angie. And that is how I got
amazing. So you were actively kind of searching for Oh, amazing.
So I put something like, I can't remember, shamanic womb or womb course shamanic or something like that into it was definitely womb and shamanic that I was searching for.
Love that.
So
you mentioned there's a couple of things in what you were saying that made me brought to my mind some of the work that you've done since I've known you. So you started your business called Earth Beats, and one of the offerings that I know that you've kind of put together in that time is your own book and your own kind of offering around. So you're talking about how the moon and the womb are linked. And then the book that you read that you found was absolutely incredible, the Yoni Shakti book. So you've written your own book for those who were much younger, those who were just beginning their periods, for young girls who were starting their menarche. So would you like to talk a little bit about that?
Yes, yeah, I wrote a it's an ebook at the moment called Ren's Womb World, and it's all about the world of the womb. But yeah, for children, really for ages 10 and under. I'm intending to write one for 10 plus as well, for more teenagers at some point. But yeah, it's really just goes through teaching younger children about what I had learned about the womb in a more child-friendly way, and also talks about ways to become more in sync with the moon and thus your womb as your before. So potentially before you start your period, or if you have started your period, there's activities and meditations on my website that go with the book to help girls become a bit more in tune with their womb and the moon from day one.
Yeah, and it's brilliant. I've read it myself, and my daughter read it, and she loved it too.
Thank
So
you.
I'll put a link to your website in the show notes of this. So if anyone's interested in that, they can access that.
Thank you.
And talking again about Earth Beats, do you want to speak a little bit about the sort of work that you've been doing with Earth Beats, and what sort of groups you've been putting on, and what work in particular are you most proud of within Earth Beats?
Yeah. So yeah, I started Earth Beats in 2023, and just before I started this, the shamanic way of the womb course, and I think it was just before I made my own drum. So I birthed my own drum in Glastonbury in 2022, just before I started the course. And anyway, a little bit before that, I'd basically been putting a bit of menstrual blood on my third eye for healing and awakening. And one day I did that and sat in front of my altar, and suddenly all of these strange sounds started coming out of my mouth. And I was like, what on earth is this? Because I didn't really know anything about, people call it light language, but I didn't know anything about that at the time.
Yeah.
And I had a transmission of what she called womb language at that time, actually, with the lady who I'd done the womb alchemy course with. So I had heard it before, but only once, and it wasn't really on my radar as something that I could do or wanted to do or anything like that. And so yeah, just suddenly spontaneously started coming out of me. So I was like, okay, that's strange, but I found it really, really healing, really connecting. And as I kind of did it more, I had experiences of like ecstatic joy, really, and love through singing these sounds, through allowing my soul to express. Basically, that's what I see it as, just pure soul expression without words, without meaning in that sense. It's a feeling language, not a meaning language. So that's what a lot of my work in Earth Beats is focused around, sessions called Free Your Voice, which I think are kind of morphing into vocal alchemy. I'm leaning more towards that name now, but yeah, really teaching people how to use their own voices to heal themselves, and trusting their own body's innate wisdom, and dropping into that place of being, of simply being in the body, and then allowing the voice to express through the body, and trusting that the sounds that you make for yourself are the most healing. So the sounds that you make, Kerry, for you is more healing for you than sounds that I would make for you, for example. Trusting your body knows it needs to.
I love that.
Yeah.
So I know you quite well, and I've done quite a lot of work with you through the 3.5 years that we've known each other. But something that I don't hear you mention very often is like goddess connection, because a lot of work in the shamanic way of the womb, we call in goddesses, we do our lineage project, and we really feel into goddesses that we feel connected with. But with you, it's not really something that I hear you mention that much. For me, like looking in, at your work, I sense more the connection into your body and down to the earth, but not so much goddess. So is there a particular goddess that you have connected with over the, or that you know, in your life or in your womb work? Is there a particular goddess that you work with at all?
Yeah, I often feel a bit like I'm not necessarily sure that it's the way that I connect. But actually, as you were talking, when I was thinking about it then, and I always do this, I forget it's Gaia.
Yeah.
It is the earth, and as you said, that really comes through my connection to my own body and my connection to the earth. But I really I forget that, and I think it's easy to not to forget her, but she's just so there, isn't she? You know what I mean? Like, she's so, we're connected to her all the time because we're walking on her, and every morning I go out and put my feet on the earth, and I give thanks for my life, and I give thanks to Gaia for this, epic place we get to live in with all the, incredible things that we get to see and feel and sense here. And so it's almost, it's Gaia, but it's also life. Like, I also feel like I worship life, if that makes sense. Like, that kind of, that sense of Gaia, but that sense of like goddess that runs through life, if that makes any sense.
Like the source energy, do you think? Or
It feels more than that though. It's this like undercurrent, and I think it is deeply feminine actually, but this like deep feminine current that, the throbbing of the earth when you drop into that, the pulse of life, of all that is, that kind of yeah.
I love that. I love that. Yeah.
I was trying to give more words there, but I think that was
I think you described it perfectly. Yeah. Amazing.
and I do, I have a real strong connection to Rhiannon and the horses as well, or the horse through Rhiannon. She was very present more at the beginning of the course, but I haven't felt her as present recently. But I think it is more that kind of connection to life and goddess through life.
Yeah. And I think another big thing that I've seen you connecting with is movement as well.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Yeah. And you're right. Yeah, it's all like it's all for me. It's all been about coming back to my body. I realized that I lived a real kind of, disembodied life my whole life until I started. So my womb was like the way back into my body. And I didn't know that I was living a disembodied life until I feel like what it felt like to actually live in my body and really feel the sensations in my body and the emotions that arise through those sensations. But for me, it's all been about coming back to what we're born with, which is our body and our voice. And I find that as well, that movement and singing or sounding, particularly at the same time, is like, for me, the way that helps me release what I might be holding on to, shift my emotional state. But it's reminding ourselves, it's almost like it's reminding myself of like true reality, I think, as well, because our society is so, the society that we've built just doesn't feel real, like, or the, the a lot of the thing, like, for example, this idea that we have to pay to live on the earth, like, that seems a bit bonkers to me, really, when you think of the reality of life, which is actually, the earth and the food we get from the earth and the water, and our bodies as an extension of the earth. But that is reality, not this, not, I don't know, that I'm trying to think of an example, but like the kind of the social norms that we perhaps put upon ourselves, or the things that we're conditioned into believing or thinking isn't necessarily real.
Yeah. But this is something like we mentioned at the beginning, that we wanted this conversation to be really authentic, and we really wanted to talk about what's present with you at the moment, and that is really present for you at the moment, isn't it? This kind of frustration, and I don't know, how would you describe it, this sense of feeling discombobulated, and do you want to talk a little bit more about that feeling
Yeah,
into your womb? What is it that's really present in your womb for you right now?
it's the frustration of the way that we're expected to live, the frustration of, having to worry about money or earning money, especially as a single parent. Um, the frustration of like just the way that we're kind of expected to live in these little boxes by ourselves and our families, and yeah, that we don't have enough support, or just the sense that we can feel really disconnected. Um, yeah, because we don't have a lot of support, or just because I feel, like, as I said, particularly as a single mum, that it can just be quite isolating, just the two of us.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, I just think that the expectations that from society of the for how we're meant to live doesn't support human well-being, doesn't support, my emotional health, doesn't support me to thrive, doesn't support me to help my son to thrive, because I've got so many other things that I'm worrying about that I can't give him or I don't give him as much fun and creativity as I'd like to give him, because I have all these things that I'm worrying about or need to do. Yeah, and I home educate my son as well. um yeah, which is obviously a choice, but I want him to grow up feeling free and not so conditioned by school. I feel that school kind of well, ultimately school was invented to create docile factory workers, not to create free thinking entrepreneurs or people who are going to go out there and do things. So um yeah, I'm just frustrated with the way that we're kind of expected to live. I mean, all of it. I just kind of think we're living in the upside down, that society's like totally
Wow.
upside
Yeah,
down
yeah, I
and
hear you. Absolutely. I
thrive.
mean, I signed a petition the other day, um, to for schools to allow children basic human right of using the toilet when they need to.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know, I completely hear you with that. I home educated my kids as well.
Yeah.
So yes, it's a tricky world to navigate at the best times, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And trying to think of ways that I could, move outside of the normal system, the normal society. Um, yeah. Yeah, trying to think of those ways, like buying some land or living in a van or something like that. So
Mm,
who knows what's next?
yeah, self-sufficiency,
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
community.
Mm,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, that's what I crave a bit more of. It's just hard to find, hard to get it going. Like, I think again, I've definitely got a great community online,
yeah,
but it'd be nice to have a more physical, daily,
yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. Yeah. Oh, it will happen for you. I'm sure it will.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So coming back to our womb work and your experience in the Sanctuary of Sophia, and just thinking about the different practices that you've learned about over the years, and not just with the Sanctuary, just, in working with your body, working with your womb, any practices that you might have developed for yourself as well. So just is there anything in particular that has been particularly transformative or helped you feel um, more connected, more protected, more grounded? What practices or rituals are coming to mind to you as I'm talking now? Which ones are the real standout ones for you?
I think generally it's my voice is always really the number one, but beyond that, like anything creative really. So painting, drawing. I went through a spate of writing loads of poetry. I haven't written any for a while, but it was really funny. It was, in fact, it wasn't just one evening, but it was a few evenings where I just pull up this, it's like my subconscious coming out through my womb type thing of just, poem after poem after poem.
Wow.
But generally, and it's reminding myself as well of my voice. And actually, even as I'm talking now, I'm remembering that I haven't really let myself go. At a house that I used to live in, I had there was like a studio there that was soundproof. So I really felt that I could, drum and sing as long and as loud as I needed to, because I wasn't disturbing anybody. But I do feel that, living, and when I lived in a log cabin as well. But anyway, here I'm kind of, I've got neighbours, and it just makes me a bit, I don't feel I can be as free.
Yeah.
In my drumming
That
and
awareness that there could be somebody that can hear you.
yeah. More than that, I don't mind people hearing me so much anymore. I've taken a lot of steps to become braver with that. But it's more that I don't want to be disturbing people, and or whatever. And I don't know, especially if it's 9 o'clock at night or 10 o'clock at night. But there was just making me reflect that I haven't really been able to really just let myself go into my drumming and into my singing, and kind of really really lose myself in it. As I said before, when I first started doing it, I had some time of real intense love, flowing through me, this ecstatic love, this ecstatic joy flowing through me that I've not kind of drummed and sang myself to for a while, just me by myself. I haven't been able to do that for a while. So anyway, it's just reflecting on that really. And I can't remember the question now, so
I was asking about the practices and rituals.
So it is, it's my voice, and the drum is number one, but also anything creative. So as you said as well, dance, movement. I found that my light language, or my soul language, is coming through my hands now more and more. So I love to sing and let my body move in any way that it wants. So really letting my soul express through my body and my voice as freely, as I'm able to in that moment. Those are probably my best ones. And as for me, nature as well, sitting under a tree, closing my eyes, relaxing, really powerful. And rest as well. Rest I found really powerful, and something that I forget to do. And something else I've been in a process with recently, but is slowing down. I've been in a process really of slowing down, I'd say for about 10 years really, but then it kind of goes in increments and fits and starts. And recently I've been realizing that I've been rushing again, partly due to overwhelm, but I'm not sure what comes first. I've got too much to do, so I'm rushing my jobs, so I don't do them well, or I don't know, I feel overwhelmed. So I've really been, and then I've been realizing recently that one of the reasons that I struggle to slow down is because I'm, scared of what I will feel, what I will really feel when I really slow down.
Allow yourself to feel it.
Yeah.
You were talking before we began recording. We went down a little train of conversation where you were talking about being out in nature and moving out in nature, and how you feel really safe in the darkness. Do you want to speak a bit about that? Because the imagery that was coming through to me when you were talking was amazing. So I was like, right, no, save this for the recording.
So as I said, like I felt last year, I felt like Lilith was kind of really with me in the winter months. And I just really have been falling in love with the dark, really, and wanting to go to the woods at night time. Partly, as I was saying to you, that I feel freer in the dark because nobody can see me. And whether that's again, like, for example, if I want to go to the woods and dance and sing, there's something about the cover of the darkness that feels quite safe actually, and quite welcoming and blanketing and holding. A couple of times last winter just went to the woods, and then just wanted to, as I said, really allowing my soul to express through my body, so sounding and moving, and feeling really free with that because no one could see me. And I've been noticing this year actually that as it's the other day I was with my horse in the field, but it was getting towards dusk, and I just felt a lot freer in my body. I felt a lot freer to move, and I'm not sure if it's also just increments of me being able to express my authentic self with less fear as well. But something about dusk. I guess dusk is that like, a liminal space, isn't it, as well? But
Yeah.
there's something about the dusk and the fading of the light and the coming of the dark that felt really welcoming, I think is the best word. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a magical time as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Quite enchanting.
Yeah. That's it.
Amazing. So where are you at now then? What sort of what plans have you got moving forwards, or are you not at that point at the moment? Are you very much in a sacred pause now, or do you have plans for future offerings? You talked about your free your voice. You used the word pure soul expression. I loved that when you were talking about your voice. So have you got any plans for any voice activation sessions in the future, or are you just very much feeling into what your next path is? Or
Yeah. I've been like really in a place over the last year, really. Well, of really wanting to build and work towards the life of my dreams. What do I really, really want from life? And how do I get that? Or how do I work towards it? And, really, I'd love a life, free from financial worries, or just, a steady flow of money, so that that's not such a fear and such a worry. I want a life close to nature. I want to, I've been thinking about my, so I was going to move to a community at the beginning of the year, like a homeschooling community in Wales. But then my mum got ill and passed away in May. So now I've been thinking that perhaps I could use some of my inheritance to buy my own little bit of land and excuse me, and create my own very small community. I wouldn't want it to be big, but like, kind of just a home-edy type community where we are growing vegetables and fruit trees. I've got my horse there. I've got some animals there, some chickens, and a place where people can come and meditate and be with nature and be their authentic selves. And just, a kind of little community, countryside-y community place, really, for people to just be, and to know it's okay to be them, and perhaps hold healing workshops there and that kind of thing. So that's my future plan, and I really want to help. I really want to help other people, particularly, freeing their voices and using their voices for their own healing. I want to help empower people to, do self-healing. But at the same time, I don't want that to feel like a hustle, like I'm trying to get people. I want that to kind of be a organic word of mouth thing that, naturally arises. So I've been thinking about writing a free your voice course, or again I might call it vocal womb alchemy, an online course, or again perhaps running one first of all, because obviously it's quite difficult for me to find time to work while I'm home educating as well, with a distinct lack of support. Although I've been making some new connections recently, so there might be a bit more support out there in terms of childcare, so that I can do one-to-one healings as well. But I've been trying to think of a way that I could generate income.
That does sound amazing, because I remember when you were just starting out, I had a session with you. I've had a few sessions with you actually. And you really, I still take my mind back actually to that first session with you, where you got me to drop into my womb, and I think it was one of the very first times that I really allowed my womb and my throat to connect, and to really let my voice just come out, and without any inhibitions, the way that you talked me through it. And I felt the energy of Kali Ma coming in, and I remember I started laughing.
Yeah.
You know, but you were so supportive, and you were like, that's okay, just let whatever's coming up arise. And I just let myself go into this hysterical laughing, and then this song just came out of me, and it was amazing. And then we did a different one with the chakras. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
We did the different chakra sounds in a different session, and that was amazing too. So I really think, you know, you've got a gift in helping people to unlock their voice. And I've been lucky enough to sing with you in a church, with beautiful ambient church, and out in nature, and in ceremony and circle, and in the White Spring as well in Glastonbury. And it's just, your voice is so healing. It really is. I really feel like it's a transmission when I hear you sing. Definitely. And it's always very emotional for me, and somatic. I feel it in my body when I hear you sing. So I think you said earlier that my voice is the most healing for me.
Yeah.
Your voice is very healing for me as well. It really does help. As soon as I hear you sing, it's like, oh, it's like a sigh.
Oh, thank you, Kerry.
Yeah, it is. It's amazing. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what you put together. That sounds like a really good idea, actually, the online course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brilliant. All right, my love, I'll let you go and get back to feeling discombobulated.
Well, I definitely feel settled after our chat, so
Do you? Oh, that's good. Is it helped you shift something?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it's just a real honour to be on the podcast as well. So yeah, thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining me, and thank you for the beautiful song as well.
Yeah,
I love it. Yeah.
And I think on the last episode, people can hear me singing in my more kind of soul language if they want to as well. I think it was episode previous to this, there's a little bit, isn't there?
That's it. Yeah, I think I put that one at the end of the podcast. Yeah. Amazing.
Thank you, Kerry.
All right, thanks, Andrea. Lots of love.
Lots of love. Bye.
Thank you for joining us in this sacred space of When the Womb Speaks. If you felt something stir, soften or awaken within, we invite you to share this episode and leave a review. May these stories continue to awaken the healing within you, to speak your truth with courage and to walk in wisdom and grace. May you remember the power of your own womb's ancient song. You can find us at sanctuaryofsophia.co.uk and on social media. Until next time, keep listening to your womb. She is always speaking.